What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of My Shitty Kitchen. I'm Baus Phoenix, and this is an air fryer. It's a magical little device that took kitchens by storm this holiday season. I mean, seriously, I feel like everyone I talked to got one of these for Christmas this year. Anyway, I was hesitant to try one, but after seeing Gordon Ramsay himself endorse these things, I figured I needed to get one for myself and try it out. It's basically a little convection oven that circulates very hot air very quickly in a tiny space. Now, as a quick note for education purposes, I want to mention that technically with an air fryer, you aren't frying food, you're roasting it. Frying is defined as cooking something submerged in fat. I also want to mention that today's recipe, the homemade pizza rolls, can be made in an oven. You don't need to deep fry these. With that out of the way, let's move on to what you'll need to make these. Since these are pizza rolls, the basic pizza mentality applies, which means you're absolutely free to make them with any ingredients that your girlfriend likes. With that being the case, you'll need some tomato paste. This makes up the sauce base and it's thick enough to keep everything together. I'm also using some Italian sausage. You can use hamburger, pepperoni, chorizo, or any other ground meat or sausage. Next, I'm throwing some green peppers in, and you can use whatever veggies you want. Just make sure they're chopped really finely, otherwise they won't fit. For the cheese, you can use mozzarella or whatever you want, but if you have the privilege of living in St. Louis, you're not a real St. Louisan unless you make your pizza products with Provel. It's pretty much the best thing ever. You'll also need some red wine vinegar and one whole egg. For herbs, I'm using dried oregano, but fresh basil is also amazing with this. For the seasonings, I'm using garlic and onion powder, and of course, salt and pepper. If you buy pre-seasoned ground meat though, be mindful of how much seasoning you use. Lastly, and most importantly, you'll need a package of wonton wrappers. As a quick note, using the ingredients I have here, I was able to make about 40 pizza rolls. So the prep for this project is pretty easy. You'll want to dice any vegetables you've got. Now, as I said earlier, you'll want to make sure everything is cut down pretty small. My knife skills aren't as good as they used to be, but what we're going for here is a small knife cut called a brunoise. It's basically just a step smaller than a small dice. If you're using any peppers or chilies, make sure you remove all the seeds. They taste bitter and you won't have a great texture with them. Also, if you've got any pepperoni or chorizo, you'll need to dice that down as well. Once you've got your prep out of the way, set a pan on the stove over high heat, toss in some olive oil, and brown whatever meats you're using. Once the meats are just about cooked through, you'll add in your vegetables and seasonings. When the veggies are cooked through, deglaze the pan with about 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. You really just need enough to pull the sook, which is the brown stuff, off the bottom of the pan. Also, if you want to clear your sinuses, this is a really good time to breathe in that vaporized vinegar. You'll never have problems breathing again. Now, you'll want to reduce down that vinegar to almost nothing. When it hits that point, drop in about 2 or so tablespoons of your tomato paste and work your meat and veggie mixture into it. What we're going for here is a sort of paste that looks like what I'm working with here. Give this a few seconds to cook as well because the sugars in the tomato paste need time to caramelize, which makes it taste amazing. Once you're good to go on that, remove the pan from the heat and sprinkle in a couple handfuls of your cheese. Fold it into your mixture until it melts, then transfer the mixture to a baking pan or whatever you've got lying around. You'll want to put this in the freezer to cool it rapidly. I'm using a baking pan because it allows me to spread everything out thinly so it cools quicker. Additionally, this step is really important because when using the same ingredients in multiple cooking processes, you have to halt the previous cooking process it was in. Moving on though, with your mixture chilling in the freezer, you'll want to start on the next part of this project. Take your whole egg, break it into a bowl, and add about a tablespoon of water. Break up the egg and scramble it well enough that the whole thing becomes homogeneous, kinda like we're making scrambled eggs. What we've made here is an egg wash. An egg wash is basically a kind of culinary glue that keeps things together. It's going to keep our wontons from falling apart. The next thing you'll want to do is lay out as many wonton wrappers as you can on a clean work surface. Grab your pizza filling from the freezer and put a pinch of it in the center of each wonton wrapper. Next, brush some of your egg wash on a corner of each wonton wrapper. We're pretty much going to fold these like little burritos, so grab the 2 side ends and fold them over one another. Then bring up the bottom end and fold it into itself. The end result should look like a little tater tot. Once you've got enough of them to fill a baking tray, or in my case, an air fryer basket, preheat your oven or air fryer to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, give these guys a quick brush with the egg wash, and chuck them in for about 8 minutes. remember that our filling is already cooked, so when you see your pizza rolls start to brown and crisp up, you're good to go. But that's about it, guys. The perfect movie slash Super Bowl slash party snack that's sure to impress. That's all for today though, guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button down below, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss a video. I'll see you all at the next one, and as always, thank you so much for watching.